Hello, welcome today to a special episode of How to Land, presented by Aces High C-130, the Aces High Fighter Task Force clan, and leader of it. Today I'm going to show you how to do basic maneuvers with a Cessna 172. Today we are flying at KUES, Waukesha International or Waukesha Airport in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I learned to train here when I was learning to fly by a man under the name of Jerome. This man is very generous because he trains kids, many kids and older adults and teenagers for free. I mean, absolutely for free. You'll learn how to fly. You will fly. You will be in the classroom and everything. Otherwise, let's get started for today's lesson on how to fly our Cessna 172 basic maneuvers. As you can see, these are the basic controls of the six-pack. You got your airspeed, you got your altitude indicator, you got your altimeter, vertical speed, your heading, and your turn and bank indicator. Basically today, these are considered in-flight avionics. This would be considered your six-pack. Right now, we are currently setting up the engine and preparing for engine stop. We're just making sure everything seems to be okay. Gonna pull that fuel mixture in a little bit of some throttle, and we're gonna go ahead and start this engine. As you can see, give it a minute. We're gonna give it a few minutes for all the instrument panels to be all set. Alrighty. So far, all the instruments are all now in sync with each other, and they are working fine. Right now, we're going to go ahead and switch to the ATIS, which will give us the weather briefing, and it will give us a certain code, which will either be Victor, Alpha, India, Oscar, Hotel. You'll see when we get there, but I will tell you when when it gets there. This certain code is what you would contact tower with. You would certainly say, for in this case, Waukesha ground. This is a Hilo or Hotel Bravo Mike Echo Sierra at the fuel box, ready to taxi to the active. He will say Micah Echo Sierra, taxi to runway 28, or taxi to runway 28. You say Michael Echo Sierra, taxi to runway 28. But we'll get there. But right now we're going to go ahead and turn on the ATIS. Alright. At the end it said, advise controller that you have uniform. Now, at this case, we would contact tower. We will say your information, and when we get to tower, when you contact ground, you would say Hotel or Michael Echo Sierra with uniform, ready to taxi to runway 28. He would say, and ground will respond saying Michael Echo Sierra, taxi to runway 28. Your response, Michael Echo Sierra, taxiing to runway 28. So let's go ahead and begin our little taxi here. Also, in this case, it is kind of light dark outside, so we may just go ahead and turn on our lights. Alright, let's go ahead and move over here. Now, word of the wise, if you happen to fly here, over here, where this gated little area is, a lot of people like to park over there and watch some of the airplanes in the mornings, and they like to drink your coffee. In the mornings when you go out to fly with your instructor, make sure you do not mess up because they're watching and you're trying to represent your school. So right now we're approaching runway 28. We're going to go ahead and start to stop. At this point, we're going to go ahead and do an engine run-up. In this case, we'll start to look at the controls, make sure everything is running properly, like the RPMs and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and put the throttle, or hold down the brakes and put the throttle in about almost 3/4 of the way. As you can see, the RPMs right here seem to be working. Alright, everything seems to be working. We're going to go ahead now and check our flaps, make sure everything's okay. Since I can see it through the cockpit in this game, we're going to go ahead and do outside view. Everything seems to be working fine, so we're going to go ahead and turn the engine down. We're going to hold down the brake. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and taxi up a little bit closer to the hold shoreline. Now right here, we will begin our brake. We'll hold, and then we will contact tower. And when we contact tower, it would say Waukesha Tower, Hilo, or Hotel Bravo, Mike Echo Sierra, runway 28, ready to take off, remaining in the pattern. They will respond, Mike Echo Sierra, this is Waukesha Tower, or clear to take off, runway 28, left or right pattern, or in this case, we're going to go ahead and do a right pattern. So it's easier because it's more simple. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, Michael Echo Sierra, copy that, taxiing runway 28. There's also more information that they're giving you, but I really don't know. It all depends on weather and so on. So in this case, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and taxi onto this runway. Alright, now as you can see, we are almost all lined up with runway 28, a little bit off, but that's okay, it's simple. Fix, we're going to go ahead and put the throttle in, we're going to go ahead and take off. Going to go ahead and just slow the RPMs down a little bit, maintain the climb, then roll out. Right now we are on crosswind from the airport. Okay, now we're approaching our altitude of 19 or 1,900 feet. So we're going to go ahead and start our level off, and we're also, I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. We're going to start evening out east. This flight school likes to, they'll fly on Saturdays, every once a week, or only on Saturdays. From, I don't know the time now, I don't live in Wisconsin anymore, but it's was 7 o'clock to 8, or 7 o'clock till 12. I think it's now 8 o'clock till 12, but I don't know. I haven't talked to Jerome in a while, but I sure will sometime. As you see, we lost some altitude, so we're going to go ahead and climb. Now at this tower, we'll be contacting you, Mike Echo Sierra. You're cleared to land, runway 28. In this case, you would say Mike Echo Sierra, downwind, clear to land, runway 28. Now on downwind, you would put 5 degrees of flaps, which we've done, as you can see, or 33 degrees. I apologize, but the first notch of flaps, anyways. And then when you turn on base, like we're doing right now, you're going to put another notch, which should be about 50. As you see, we're losing some airspeed, so we're going to go ahead and speed her up a little bit. And we're also going to begin descent. Now, where that needle says about 5 is the perfect descent rate for this particular aircraft. But at this time, you would be pretty much almost on a complete no throttle, and you'd be a little farther away from the airport. This airport's not particularly correct, but that's okay. We'll still make it perfectly. Particularly with this aircraft, there is a quarry right here, so landing at this airport is pretty tough, actually, because the quarry likes to provide a lot of turbulence and likes to swift you over a little bit. Now you see those lights right here? Red over white, that's what we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and slow down, put our last bit of flaps, and we're going to go ahead and slow the airplane down and keep it at about 60 knots. For hangar, this is actually the real hangar you would learn at. It's a blue hangar at Waukesha. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn off our engine. Make sure all the fuel and everything is pulled away. And we're going to go ahead and say, hey, we're done. You know, we're done flying. And then he'll hop out. You'll see how much time you did. And then a new person would fly. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that